So again, speaking of that, speaking of my energy, speaking of Alvin, so my doctor's appointment actually went very well. Uh, like I said, I didn't know if I could label him arrogant. I said I had to, I could tell you by the next meeting. I don't feel that he is. He was very. The reason why is because he was very understanding. He was telling me we got to the stints can only stay in you for 3 months because they will begin to calcify, and I'm kind of nervous about that. So I said, well, that you might or might not like what I have to tell you, but I'm not doing the surgery. And I explained to him my son's school, and he was very understanding, and it's still within the 3 month period. So, and I have to call the doctor this week. I've been a little bit, I guess a little bit overwhelmed, and I'll tell you why next. That I forgot to make the appointment for that surgery with the doctor. But he told me that that he understood, and that and then he explained to me about where the surgery was going to take place. I thought it was going to be here. I love my hospital here, but it's in a hospital downtown, and that probably wouldn't bother me as much as what hospital it is. It's that same organization where they left me hanging, where they never have got my records, and the doctor still wanted to charge me. I was wasting my time going there and paying, my copay. My records were never there. The doctor could never do what she needed to do, and then I had a big fight over that, and then she dropped me without telling me, and then I tried to get the clearance from my cardiologist, but no. To me it was like they were holding the approval hostage. No, you have to come in. It's like, no, you already did the test. I went through all of this earlier last year. After they did all the hard tests, why I don't need to come in. Doctor, all he wants to know is, can I have the surgery based on the test results? That's it. They didn't want, they wanted me to come in again and milk me. That's that same organization of the hospital that his partner works from. And I'm not really crazy about that because I don't trust the organization. I don't know if I want to entrust my life to them, And this is major surgery. They have to cut you open. And I asked him what could go wrong, and he said, well, in his life, he's only seen one person die from the surgery, but there's two things that can go wrong, and one is sepsis, which one of you YouTubers did mention that to me about kidney stone and sepsis. And the other thing that can go wrong is it's not the doctor, but the radiologist has to insert a needle inside of you. And one time they pierced someone's lung, and the lung filled up with urine. So I don't know if it was that particular place. I may be discussing him again the next time I see him, but or discuss it with the doctor. I need to make that appointment for this surgery. I discuss it with the doctor and see what what he says, because I really don't trust that organization, and I want to come home to my family. My family needs me. My husband is burned out. I have 2 adult children with mental disabilities, and I need to take care of my family. So I'm like a little bit apprehensive about this, but I've got over 10 stones, and in one kidney, and then the other one that was blocked, there's only one stone, I think he said. In that one, he pulled out the blockage, and the other one he had to push back in because he couldn't get it out. It wasn't breaking up. So I know that this is the best thing, but I'm just apprehensive about where his partner works from. So I even tried calling urological surgeons, and none of them got back to me to find out if there's any other hospitals that I could do this in, because I really don't like that organization. So that has me really apprehensive. But he was very understanding, and so that made me feel good. Just that he said, if you want to wait that long, maybe we can go ahead and try the lithotripsy. But what the lithotripsy is the shock waves. They lay you on the table, they put this machine on you, and it's just sending shock waves, and those shock waves are supposed to break up the stone. But that's the first thing you're supposed to do, and then going inside and blasting the stones directly. And what has me apprehensive is that he wants to put me under. And I remember telling him, but I wasn't put under the last time. Why have to be put under? And then he goes, because I said so. And I was like, you say you're not mean, but you are. And he said, no, seriously, because you will wiggle and move around. It is painful. And I remembered that the times I've had these procedures in the past, I had the 3 procedures. I had the lithotripsy. It did get painful. And I did wiggle. And I remember the nurses yelling at me to stop. At one point, I tried to push the machine away. And, the nurses yelling at me, stop, Mrs. Darling. So, so I understand his reasoning, but why are we taking a step back? Because that's supposed to be the first step and then the next step. If the laser didn't work, why would that work? He's like, well, why don't we just try it on that one stone in the kidney that has that one stone? Let's just try it, because if this works, he said, then you'll only need surgery on one kidney and not both. And some people are telling me that's a step backwards. It doesn't make sense, and it kind of sounds like it's just milking the insurance company. But I feel like at whose expense? At mine? I don't like being put under, and so I'm like leery. It's not going to be till November, because the soonest he could do it was the end of October, and that's my vacation. So we had to reschedule for November, and so I still have like a month and a half if I want to change my mind. And I'm just wondering, do I want to be put under again? I remember that when they did that to me, I felt I was fine the next day. Maybe even that same day. When all was said and done, the only thing that bothered me was the stint. I had to urinate, and I was urinating pieces of stones, but it it wasn't enough. I still had a lot in me, so I don't know. I'm wondering if it's a step. It is a step backwards. If he thought it would work, why didn't he do it the first time? He said I was too big. My belly was too big, and it wasn't going to penetrate through. So he said, let's just do that one stone on that right side. So I'm thinking, told my husband it's worth a try, but I just wonder if he couldn't get it with the laser and he had to push it back in, then it's usually shockwave, that don't work, then hit it directly. So if hitting it directly didn't work, would shockwave really work? So I don't know. A part of me feels like it's worth it so that I only get one kidney worked on, but the other part of me feels, I don't know, do I want to be put under again? Should I be wasting my time? Another day in the hospital? I don't know. So anyway, that's a dilemma with that. And then the other thing that I want to talk about was, if you remember, I told you that as far as complaining against the receptionist at my son's clinic, that I was really apprehensive because I knew I had to face her, and I also, who knows, retaliation, I don't know. But I also said, knowing me, one more thing happens and that's it. I'm gonna lose it. And when I just found out that I had the kidney failure, my head was in a fog for a week, and I go there. I was already a nervous wreck, and I go there, and my son's in school. I have to pick up his meds myself, and I always keep my son always keep my son's a note giving me permission to get the pills in my bag. And she wasn't there. One of the caseworkers were there. They all know me, and went and got to go get the pills for me. But what happened was that she couldn't find them. The receptionist had them, because I remember that morning I called and said, did the pills come in? She said, well, pills came in, again not wanting to tell me both. And I was like, well, okay, I'm coming. So I don't know if she already got them because she knew I was coming or what. But I go there to pick up the pills, and she looks at me with this like rage in her face. She's like, where's your son? I was like, I mean, the look in her face, like, I was taken aback, and I was like, in school? Because I was like, what was the issue? I did it the whole, this last semester he was in school. So she says, her whole face, just like, this rage was in her face. And she says, you're supposed to bring your son's note when he's not here. You know that. So I said, but she didn't ask me for the note. And as I'm saying that, I go into my wallet and I'm opening it up, and she says, she goes and she turns, and she says, she doesn't know what she's doing. You're supposed to bring a note. And as she's saying that, I pull out the note and I said, she didn't ask me for it. So she's like, and she's going on and on. I have to answer to people, I have to answer to people. And I was like, well, here's the note. So she's all flustered, and usually she makes a copy of the note and she makes a copy of my ID. She didn't do that. She was just all flustered. Because I have to answer people, I have to have this note. And she just looks at it and gives it to me, and then gives me a page. I'm supposed to sign for them. And I'm like, she's just going on and on. Like, you're supposed to have a note. She did not ask me. All I kept saying was, she didn't ask me for it. You weren't here. You're the only one who asked me for it. My nerves were already shot. And I said, can I please have my son's meds? And she gives me the meds. I check them, and I walk away. And I was driving home, and I was like, and I was saying to myself, why am I feeling like this? I mean, I was already, in a shock already over my kidney situation, finding out that I had partial kidney failure. But I didn't realize, I was like, why do I feel like this horrible, just shroud of negativity on me? And I realized it's because of her. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. And I made the phone call to, to the whatever superiors. And I talked to her, and she's like, why didn't you call me back when this happened in June? I said, honestly, I was a little apprehensive because I had to face her, tiny little apprehensive about retaliation. I told them it's organizations like yours that keep my son sane, because I cannot afford the $1,500 a month for those meds, and he wouldn't be able to be in school. The only place my son would be without these meds is in a mental institution. And I need organizations like yours, and I appreciate organizations like yours that help out, people like my son. So she was like, that was unacceptable, and that she was gonna have a talk with her. And I said, I want this in writing. So I sent her the letter, and I said, at least you'll have this on file, and you'll see everything I'm saying. And just in case, because like what happened, like she said something to the lady in charge of the meds that wasn't true. If I have to sit in front of her and discuss this, I'm willing to do it, because I just need this to end, because two things are going to happen. I'm going to freak out and go crazy, and then I'm the one who's going to get arrested, or I'm going to have a nervous breakdown, and I'm the one who's going to need meds. And I said, that's it. I cannot take this anymore. I said, I just want to be able to go there in peace. I just want to get my son's meds in peace. I've got 2 more, well, at the time I said 3 more, because it was right before this last surgery I had. I said, I've got 3 more surgeries to go, and I don't need this. And so she was like, it was unacceptable. They spoke to the director. She tried to play it down, that it wasn't like I said. And so the director, she made, organized a meeting for me, her, and the director. And so, when I get there, she was sweet as pie to me. It was like, okay, that's the way it should be. I was satisfied with that. I went because I had to go there to get my son's doctor. That's how I got to the CVS down there. And he wanted me to say it again to him, and he said, do you want me to make her apologize to you? And I'm like, I'm not looking to humiliate her. And I didn't tell him this, but the truth is, apologies are cheap. Apologies are cheap to me. I don't want an apology. I want results. And so I said, look, I'm not looking to humiliate her. She was very nice to me when I came in. I just want to have peace when I come in here. And he said, him and the other lady said, never, ever, ever will there be retaliation against my child because of something like this. They were all saying that she's the one who shouldn't be acting like that because they've got other, I don't know if there's anyone else that she does that to. I haven't noticed. But I said, he says, what do you want from her? I said, I just want her to be nice to me. I want from her to be nice to me. That's it. She wants to know, just ask for it. She doesn't have to be like that. So I said, I would like to know what she told the lady in charge of the meds, that she, told me that there was a mishap, because there wasn't. And I said, and I would like to, and the other thing I would like to know is, do I remind her of someone that did something to her in the past, But I said, as long as she's nice to me, really, that's all I need. But he made her anyway. He did it anyway. He, after all was said and done, saw the doctor, ordered them, got all their meds and everything ordered and everything. When he went to get her to come talk to me, it was like, the sweetness was so sweet that you could get a toothache from a cavity from it. And it was like, wow, and it was like a totally different person. And she, she apologized. And I said, again, I'm not looking to humiliate anybody. I said, I just want to be, I was looking at him because I was a little apprehensive, but then I just looked at him and said, look, I don't know if I remind you of anybody. I don't know, but all I know is that when I come here, I just want to have peace. I have 2 more surgeries now to go, and I just want to be in peace. I just want to be able to pick up my son's meds in peace. And she says that she is just from up north, and I said, really? Where from? She said, Northern Illinois. And I'm like, well, I'm from New York. So I'm not trying to humiliate her or call her out, but the truth is, you do not meet ruder people than the people in New York. So if I can be, when I told my husband and I was telling my kids what happened, they were saying the same thing. We're all from New York and we don't act like that. So she says that I've always been nice to her as far as she can remember, and then she's saying, as far as I can remember, right? And I was like, not really sure what she was trying to come out with, but so I'm just, and then she said, that she doesn't realize she's doing it, and that if it happens again, to let her know, because she really, really, really doesn't realize that she's doing it. I was satisfied with the fact that she was being nice to me. Do I believe her? Not really. But I was satisfied. But as we were walking out, I told her, if you need to know, ask for it. It's always in my wallet. So as we were walking out, everybody's being civil to each other. But we were in the lobby. We were alone. And she says, now remember, don't forget your note. Didn't we just go through that? I turned around, I said, all you have to do is ask. And we left. And the main lady from the head of the organization or whatever called me the next day and said, were you satisfied? And I said, well, and she said, you don't sound satisfied. I said, I'm satisfied that she's treating me nice, that she's treating me with respect, because that's really all I want. But I told her, what happened, and she was like, wow, she pulled the Northern card on you? I said, yeah, but, and she agreed that that's not really an excuse. And then she said that she couldn't believe that she said that as we were walking out. I said, well, let's just say that maybe she was just joking, I said, so she says, are you hopefully optimistic? I said, yes, that I am. I said, as long as she treats me with respect, because I don't need that. That's all I want. And she said, again, no retaliation will ever be taken against my son, and that if ever anything needs to be done, to call her again. So, I only have to see her once a month. They're getting so full that I don't have to go every 2 months anymore. That now it could be spread. It was spread from 2 months to 3 months. Now it's spread out to 4 months. So I just have to go once a month to pick up the meds, and that's it. There shouldn't be anything else that needs to be done. So So I just wanted to give you those updates. I mean, again, I've had a really, really, it's like this year's been kicking my butt, and that was really the only thing that wasn't resolved. And, you know, I, I, I was afraid, but I didn't need to be. And, sometimes you may have to get other people involved to confront the situation so that it doesn't escalate between you and that person, which I think that was a smart thing to do rather than blow up back at her or have a nervous breakdown. And I had to talk to 3 people before I got the right person to know how I handle the situation, and it was handled. And again, like I said before, negative things may happen, but they're either resolved or resolved to my satisfaction or resolve themselves. And I'm just hoping that this is gonna stay resolved to, to my benefit or to my satisfaction, because it's not a game. When I'm not trying to win anything. I just want peace. That's all I want in my life, is peace, and I shouldn't have to go through that. Sometimes in life you just need to get help to deal with a situation. Whenever like same in any situation, sometimes you just need to get help. Somebody, I guess, in a way, to be a witness, to mediate, to keep things in control. Sometimes you need to go to a person in authority, and so that's what I had to do in this situation. And again, I'm cautiously optimistic. So I'm just hoping that everything goes well with these procedures. I talked to the gynecologist. I'm gonna see her earlier. I just want to make sure my ovaries are okay, and just hopefully everything's okay with that. I just feel very kind of like resentful that I could have gotten rid of this. I would have been able to do the lithotripsy first had it not been for this ginormous pannus that this year feels like it's getting infected again. It keeps like feeling irritated and like it's gonna get infected, and then it just like stops short of breaking through my skin. And I'm just resentful that they didn't do the right thing by me back 2 months ago. This could have been done already. I could have gotten rid of this, and I would have been so much better physically for me, and even medically, because it wouldn't have gotten in the way of the lithotripsy. It wouldn't have gotten in the way of me being on my stomach for the surgery. I mean, he said he doesn't think that's going to be an issue, but I just arthritis, and they said I have a hernia in my back. I have arthritis in my back in the x-rays. I got arthritis in my hips, and I don't know if it was I couldn't eat the first couple of days or maybe the first week after the procedure, but again I'm still back to 2 meals a day, but I think really it's because I'm running out to running back and forth to drop off my son, going to the doctor. By the time I get a doctor, I have to pick up my son, so I get to eat breakfast, but I don't get to eat lunch, but I eat dinner, and I have big breakfast and I have a big dinner. Well, a patty and a soup or oatmeal or whatever, and I lost the 10 pounds I gained, so that's good. I think that also the medication constipates you, and I think, like I said, I don't know. My friend told me that if you want to lose weight, it's probably that you're not cleaning out your intestines properly, and you should do a colon cleanse. But what I found was that after I did the colon cleanse, I gained weight, and now that I'm constipated again, I lost the 10 pounds that I gained. So I don't know if it's and of course I'm taking my fiber and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's that the lining of the stomach is not completely clean, and maybe that it's not absorbing whatever fat I have, because I don't have much fat. But I don't know. So I don't know, but I was so happy, and I could tell, because when I gain weight, when I get to be a certain weight, I don't even fit behind the wheel of my car. I struggle, and then my pannus is so big it falls between my legs, and I have a really hard time pressing the gas and the the pedals to the car. And that was starting to happen again and again. I was starting to feel the infection, but I noticed I'm able to fit behind the wheel of my car again, and I weighed myself I always weigh myself when I go to my doctor or go to the kids' doctors, and I lost the 10 pounds I gained, thank God. So I don't know what it is, but I also went back on the metformin. They wanted me to do 500 milligrams, work my way up to 1,000 milligrams. What I've been doing, because I'm really scared, because they said my blood sugar shot up, I cut them into 4. I have a pill cutter. It's not accurate, but I cut the 500 pill into 4, and I take one a day, once a day. That's it, one a day. So I don't know if that's also been helping, because the metformin does help you lose weight. So that's what I've been doing. So I don't know. I'm scared. I think I should also see the liver doctor just to be sure. I mean, because the blood work says, oh, your liver's functioning. The blood work said my kidneys are functioning, and yet I had 40% damage on one kidney. So not really sure if it's just going by the other kidney, but the functioning kidney's got at least 10 stones in it. So he said that he doesn't even remember if he sent the stone to the lab, but he said from looking at it, it is calcium. And he said if he did, he wouldn't get the results anyway for 2 weeks, and my appointment was for a week after. So see, that kind of gets me mad. That should have been done. I don't know if that should have been done, but this way I don't have to. It's a whole mess to find out what it is if you don't have a stone in your hand. But anyway, so yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to give you the good news here, and hopefully all will go well. I believe in my heart, with all my heart, that God gave me 2 children with mental disabilities, and He didn't give them to me so that I could die and not take care of them. I know my husband with work, when he works such long hours, he would not be able to take them to their appointments. He'd lose his job if he had to go to their appointments, pick up their meds, take my son back and forth to school. It would just be a horrible, horrible situation. So, I just I trust that God's going to see me through all of these, anesthesias and bring me out of them, and I'm going to be okay. But I'm just really apprehensive. So anyway, all right. See you next week. Hopefully, as long as there's no emergencies. Mwah.